Hello there, thank you for joining me today on Personality Profile. Today is a special meal. I put a lot of spice in this recipe, especially for you, my favorite audience. And today we get to sit down with a man whose name has become very synonymous to transformative leadership. I mean, from being a trained doctor by training, public servants by calling, there seems to be some intersection between energy, education, and even medicine. The man who has taken policies to a higher level, which has impacted the very Ghanaian person's need in this country. Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh, you know him as Napo. Not just a former member of parliament, but as well a former minister for education and as well energy. Now, from the walls of Komfanoche Teaching Hospital to the corridors of parliament, this man has seen it all. On top of it all, the 2024 NPP vice presidential candidate, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh. You know him as Napo. Please sit down, relax, and let's get into this conversation. I'm excited today because today on Personality Profile, we sit down with this man whose name has become synonymous with transformative leadership. Not just transformative leadership, and so from being a medical doctor by training, from the corridors of parliament, be public service by calling. It's exciting to have Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh today on Personality Profile. It's a pleasure to have you in my seat.
Thank you.
So I just counted your staircase. There are about 18 of them.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
It's 19.
It's 19?
Let's go.
Let's start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Oh, the last one makes it 19.
19?
Tell me, what's the meaning of Napo?
Napo?
Yes.
Napo just means Nanapoku. One of my cousins were very, very young. I think they were 5. He was 6 and he couldn't say Nanapoku, so I ended up saying Napo. And Napo became my name. Interesting.
So it's just an abbreviation of
Nanapoku.
Nanapoku.
Yes.
I almost thought it was some secret name and all of that. We're both Napo, and that seems to sit better with all of us. Do you like it when we call you Napo?
Oh, I've loved it from the fancy. Actually, when you go to my house and you say Dr. Prempeh, I might not be remembered straight.
Ah.
Because everybody, it's not the name that I brought from home from school or from friends outside. The names that started. So all my uncles, my grand-uncles, if you go and say, Dr. Prempeh said so, they have to pause and think, because there are other Dr. Prempehs in the family as well.
All right.
So they might have to pause and think, who are you talking about? I already say Napo, there's no mistake.
I certainly agree. Thank you for gracing my chair today.
I've always been looking for it.
Look at that, thank you. It's a little over 6 months since the 1824 elections. What have you been up to? How have you been?
I've been doing a lot of stuff, actually, meaning political life, partisan life, government life has been interrupted, but I have different loves that I can now promote and do. Mentoring, a period of reflections, more engagement with the community and citizens, learning again, new things. Almost always there are new things to learn. Actually, I want to go on a course to do AI for about 28 days or something. AI? Yeah.
I mean, of course, I understand that AI has become the order of the day, but why? Why do you need that?
If you say AI has become order of the day, probably it is not an understatement. AI is about ruling our lives, or it will be the single greatest tool of invention man has made to help man in the activities of daily living and everything.
every time I think about you, I say, well, nearly 7 months. We're in July, so I can say that 7 months since elections and all of that. You sit down, you must be reflecting, and you just said it, that's a lot of reflection and all of that. 16 years in Parliament. I mean, I was telling the audience earlier that from medical doctor, education, energy, there's definitely that intersection where all of the things that you have done seems to touch the very Ghanaian aspect of us. It touches the very needs of Ghanaians. How do you feel in reflecting all of this? Do you add the 16 years? Where do you start from? Do you start from your medical doctor days, or you start from when you were in politics?
I would say that is how I was brought up. I was brought up in a very politically aware family with a history of decades of partisan politics or active political life. That's how I was brought up. And I was brought up to cherish one thing: public service. And not only public service, bringing value through public service and for public service. Meaning you just don't participate. You participate in the intention of making an impact. That is how I was brought up. Brought up to prove myself that I can sit at the table with decision makers. And not only the elderly, but true decision makers. So brought up by granduncles and uncles far older than myself, whose children were even far older than me. And I served all of them. So that's how I was brought up. So growing up, having public service has been a duty that has been imprinted in my heart, mind, and everything I do. So even deciding to belong to which associations growing up, where only associations that brought public service to the fore, like joining Boy Scouts at a very early age, being an altar boy at an early age.
What boy?
Altar boy.
Altar boy?
Altar boy.
As in, what's locally we say Maseva?
Yes, I'm still
like
a
you're
Maseva.
holding the thing, pump. Really?
I'm still a Maseva. Not only that, joining the Red Cross Society, going to do medicine, and the public service. The only difference is that some public service duties are very, very small, personal, but really impactful. And some are large and may be impactful. So being a doctor, you are serving one person at a time, and it can be very, very impactful for somebody who needs surgery, who is dying in agony. And you go in and you repair a strangulated hernia or a rotten appendix or something, and you relieve his frustration, and he sleeps while he's passing the PE. It brings a lot of joy to your heart and everything, but it's limited. When you put it around being a politician with making decisions that are life-changing for swathes of the society, and probably forever. So it's just public service ethos that I was grew up with.
Would you say that the 16 years since you went to this type of public service, and for the purpose of our conversation, allow me to describe it as politics. Okay. 16 years, so you look back and
you see, you have to use politics carefully. Okay. The word. Politics is how we organize our way of life. If you believe so, then it means what you are really thinking about, partisan politics, seen as MPP or NDC, but politics is very, very broad.
Right.
When you see a lot of CSOs and NGOs, and in Ghana, some refer to them as neutrals. They are all politicians. They are advocating a certain policy direction. They are canvassing for certain political beliefs and ideas. So that is politics. The only thing probably I've done differently is in the last 16 years, I put on the cloth of MPP, but that is maybe more than 16 years. Okay,
but in Parliament, from the hospitals to Parliament, 16 years, would you say that has been worth the switch?
I've married the two for a very long time, in the sense that in 1991, when the PNDC government decided on a consultative assembly for Ghana in our way forward. I was a student politician. I remember at that time we were having a central, NUC Central Committee meeting in Cape Coast where the announcement was done. And together with my friends and colleagues in Central Committee, we decided in the early hours of the morning to march from University of Cape Coast to the residency to establish our protest against the government's decision. Then fast forward a few months after, I became the leader of the students' wing of the New Patriotic Party. At that time, probably the only one around the country, from KNUST. At that time, it was my beloved USD. So I became a student leader and a political leader, a partisan political leader for LPP, KNUST. And then we organized to support Professor Albert Dubois' campaign around the country. And the rest is history. I hadn't finished medical school at that time. I graduated from medical school in 1994. And this students' politics started in 1991, 1992.
And whilst I was crawling.
You're crawling? Oh, God. And now you're a big woman. So I went into medical school, and I became the medical students general secretary of the Medical Students Association. I became the local NUC's president for 2 years running.
Okay.
I became the national president of Ashanti Students Union as well. So it is all in preparation for public service.
Okay.
Getting better at delivering impactful public service. That's how I see my training as. And even doing medicine was preparing me for public service.
Interesting. But let's take it back to where you were born. Everybody, when we think about you, especially because of your surname, we're quick to go to the Ashanti region. But let me in a bit. Where were you born? Who's your father? Who's your mother?
I was born in Kumasi.
Okay.
I was born in Ashanti, Utah, in 1968. My father was a chief at that time. He was the last born of Prempeh II, the 247 Sergeant Prempeh II. And I was born. He became a chief at the age of 17, and I was born just before he was 18. And I lived that same place in Ashanti, Utah, for my nursery school. I was privileged to attend the nursery school, university nursery school. Then I did the university primary school for 6 years, nursery school for 2 years, primary school for 6 years. Then I went to, I don't see it as arguable, I went to the best